There's one. There's two. All right. We are going to give it a second here, but I actually accomplished this all by my lonesome tonight. I know Paul does great work and all our engineers do great work, but I got it taken care of tonight as I tried to get into our restreaming here, and it was funky is a way to describe it. But now 28 of you are actually watching this, and so we are streaming on this Friday evening, only briefly. This is a quick one. Hello, Melissa. Pretty quick out here tonight because this is not a huge event. Nuisance category certainly is where we're going with this. And even that may be pushing for a lot of us. This may end up being, for a lot of us, just a cold rain. But again, on a Friday evening, and folks, if you've been out on date night or out on date night, and I'm getting a text from my wife, which I can ignore for later. It's, again, a situation where we've got the rain and snow around, but it's not going to be a lot. It really right now is more slush than anything else. And yeah, we're up over, almost over 250. So we'll go ahead and roll here. Mary and Tara, hello. And I've actually got a little window for let's see, a little window for comments that I can look at. Tallsboro, so yeah, it's snowing up there up in Lewis County. Thank you, Melissa. And so yeah, you can see what the radar sees. Now, when you're looking at a radar display like this, it doesn't tell you exactly where the transition is. What you're seeing there is a mask that is created by some computer modeling and where it thinks that the snow is at this point. And so that's what you're seeing there. And you know, it right now it's showing the cutoff line somewhere in northern Mercer, right about Nicholasville, just south of Winchester to Mount Sterling. South of there is rain. And truthfully, you've got a mixture of stuff going on. Well, if we've gone to all snow in the south on Lexington now, when I was out about, I'm trying to see where I was at that time, 31 minutes ago, it was about a 75-25 snow rain. So tell me what you are seeing. Raining in Mount Sterling, that's what will be the help. Yeah, there's a lot of melting going on because temperatures right now are at and above freezing. So that's the overall setup, and we are now sitting with almost 600 folks over 600 folks in here. Perry's going to get mostly rain with this. We'll get to all that coming up. Raining in McKee, thank you. Yeah, the real transition zone right now is going to be, well, it looks like all of Fayette County is pretty much getting snow at this point. Southern Clark, Montgomery, Jessamine, maybe somewhere between Nicholasville and Wilmore, if that masking is correct. Raining in Stanford, thank you. Yeah, big flakes right now, Thomas, thank you, because we're close to freezing. So basically nature's making snowballs on the way down. Raining in Danville, again, good to know, thank you. 2 inches is even going to be pushing, I think. I see that, Benjamin. So yeah, we had nothing to do here on a Friday night, so it's like, why not? So let's get into all this as we're pushing 700 folks in here. So there you see the radar display, and again, where it's thinking the transition zone is, and again, this is just on a computer mask. Your actual results may vary. That's where that little lawyer thing going across the bottom. Your actual results may vary. Professional driver on closed course. Do not attempt at home. Right now it's showing a changeover. Anderson, Mercer, most of Woodford County's got snow. Most of Fayette's got snow. Somewhere around the Kentucky River is a pretty decent border there on the south. And you can see anywhere there to the north, likely mostly snow. So there is your setup, and that leads us to looking outside the TV station here on the north side of Lexington. And you can see in the light there to the right side of the screen, definitely snow. I checked the cars just before getting this started, before I did all the finagling to get the computer stuff to work. And we were getting some slush on the windshields of cars that have been out there for a while. But beyond that, we haven't seen much else. Rain in South Jessamine County. Thank you, Brittany. So again, these are all, you've got rain there in Bourbon County, so we got a mixture going on. Northern Mercer, snow, so that masking is pretty close. But again, Northern Fayette, you're seeing that the road is really just wet at this point, and it's going to stay, I think, mostly just wet on the roads here for the most part. There'll be some exceptions, especially as we get into tomorrow and later on tonight. But again, you can see the snow there going on in the light. So there is your snow advisory. It covers all of central Kentucky. Both the Weather Service offices in Jackson, Wilmington, as well as Louisville, coordinated on this advisory. So your southern end is Russell and Adair counties, Casey, Lincoln, Rockcastle, Jackson, Estill, Powell, through Menifee, Moorhead, or Rowan County. So from there north, which covers just about all, well, it covers all of central Kentucky. You could draw about a 30-mile loop around Lexington. That's pretty much where your advisory is. What we expect in that advisory, I mean, this is not a gangbuster snow. This is nuisance category. Trace to as much as 2. The 2 is going to be pushing. There may be a few places, especially as we roll through parts of tomorrow, where we get some snow squalls in here, where that extra ½ inch might get us to that 2 threshold. I think most of us are an inch or less by the time this is all said and done. Now, it may snow 2 inches, but again, as melting is going on, you may only measure an inch. So that's kind of how we're looking at it right now. Rain mixed with a little snow. Patrick, where are you? We'll get to, well, you can see Moorhead right there. I think you're in the 0, yeah, I think you're around an inch in Moorhead, give or take. So that, you're right on that edge of where you're going to see a little bit more versus a little bit less. So again, the more east and south you go, the less snow you're going to end up seeing. So here's why. Okay, so this is our future track at 11 o'clock. So again, all just computer modeling, but you notice the temperatures. They are all at and around freezing. In fact, slightly above. And if you get more south and east, the warmer it gets. So that's as the transition to snow is ongoing. Although some of us have been seeing snow. But you notice we get even to 1 in the morning, temperatures really haven't moved much at all. So Anderson's County's got some snow going at this point. So I'm just checking some other things along the way here before I get to it all coming up. And that's what I wanted to confirm before I get to the map. So watch what happens through the overnight. Basically, the stuff gets out of here. So the window to put anything down is fairly small. And we've got certainly suboptimal conditions in order to put any kind of decent snow around. So as your morning begins tomorrow, you are looking at temperatures right around freezing. There's still going to be some light snow coming through. This may end up being the trickier time early tomorrow morning with this next wave coming through. And you'll also notice, look at Louisville's temperatures. They were down in the mid-20s while we're in the low 30s everywhere else. And by 3 o'clock, they've kind of caught back up. But as we continue then into tomorrow late afternoon, how the temperatures tank. That's the Arctic front coming through. And that's what's going to take our temperatures down and down a lot. In fact, we get you into tomorrow night, we're already down into the teens. So that's the next wave of Arctic air coming. But the snow squalls that accompany that Arctic air, we had snow squalls around last Sunday where, remember, it snowed really hard. And it does it for 5 or 10 minutes and then it's done. And for that 5 or 10 minutes, you think you're in the worst blizzard in the world. And it does put down some accumulations, and it can be quick, and it can coat the roads, and it reduces visibilities, and it's not safe to drive in. That may be the situation we run into tomorrow, but most of what we'll get tonight is going to be that rain-snow mix. Rain in Frenchburg, thank you. South Nicholasville, rain. Snowing in Paris. You need warm weather, Stacy? You got to wait. We are looking at some big changes out there. So here's what we're expecting. Rain has begun already, and it's mixing with and changing to snow. Snow showers may briefly come down at a pretty good clip. And that's when you can start getting some of your accumulations where it can overcome the melting, if only for a while. Most travel impacts that will occur will be latter part of the evening. I think most of these are actually going to be after midnight, as temperatures are still above freezing in most places. But as the further into the night we go, the more travel problems may ensue, especially bridges and overpasses. Getting into tomorrow, showers and snow squalls will be coming through with brief impacts to travel with those that come on through. So that's your setup. All righty. Well, Lexington, we've dropped now to an even freezing. And where visibility has actually come back up. We use visibility to tell you how hard is it snowing. Anything above a mile is considered light snow. When you start getting below a mile, you're into moderate. Down under a half mile, it's heavy snow. So we've got that snow. It is snowing out at the Bluegrass Airport. The dew point number here is something I've been watching because the atmosphere is doing a dance where your temperatures have come down because of evaporative cooling. When this event started, the dew points were in the low teens and upper single digits. So those have come way, way up. The temperature now has come down to try and meet it. Now we've hit that equilibrium point. And so basically the only way we're going to cool the air mass down now is dynamic cooling, where in the big scale, you lift the air up. And when you do that, you are able to cool the entire column of the atmosphere. Because you look around, and these are coming off the Kentucky Mesonet, which, in all honesty, is more accurate than the ASOSs that we use at the Bluegrass Airport and other places. So you're looking at temperatures that are above freezing. Frankfurt, Lawrenceburg, Georgetown, and Winchester. I don't have the map in the queue here, but let me check just over here. Dew points on the Mesonet, there is no one below freezing. So that means you are 32 or 31 and a half and up. But that's what we're seeing. So like south side of Lexington, the dew point's 32, Spindletop 32. So that gives you an idea that it's going to be tough to get temperatures much colder than this. When you look at, again, the bigger picture, you can see Whitley City, Corbin, Boonville, still all in the 40s. That's where the precip really hasn't gotten to yet. You're seeing where you're in the low and mid 30s. So again, whatever falls melts. The rate may be brief enough that you can overcome that melting, but that is something that won't sustain. And so once that rate eases, then the melting commences again, and you're left with the water on the roads. That may be the last graphic I've got. It is. So with that, let me cue the radar. Oh, I'll cue the advisory back up for you. That's kind of a cool look. Stop that. Okay. So we can toggle back and forth here. Let me bring the comments back up as soon as I find it. There it is. Okay. Okay. Just trying to make some snowplow money. Yeah. Buddy of mine owns a plow company, and boy, was he was enjoying the first 2 weeks of December. That actually is our firework money that he made, what he does during the winter season. So when we have our 4th of July fireworks, that's the fund where it comes from. It's going to stop later on after midnight tonight for a lot of us, and we were showing you how it was going to go from east to west after midnight with that ending of the snow. So again, that window to accumulate stuff is pretty small. Probably too early to sell. Yeah, and because it's a lot of water out there right now, for one. But again, you'll know better than I on how to get that salt down. The good thing is salt will work just because temperatures will be right around freezing. Things will change starting actually late Saturday afternoon and Saturday night when the Arctic air arrives, and we'll spend 3 days below freezing. Sunday, MLK Day, Monday, and Tuesday. In fact, Tuesday morning with the next wave of Arctic air will be the coldest morning that we see the bunch. We're down in the mid-single digits. If we would have had a nice little snow cover in place, which I doubt we're going to have much of that, then we would be getting colder. The modeling, and it was actually the Euro, was showing the polar vortex dropping down to about Lake Superior the end of next week, toward next weekend. So we just hit the midpoint of winter yesterday, and so we've got a long way to go here. And with that, you are looking at maybe a turn toward more winter as we head toward the latter part of this month, maybe the 1st of February, but that's, again, a way off. Huge storms next week. That's what we were just talking about. So, yeah, there's something out there. You know, even today, yesterday I had the wintry mix Friday. Today I moved part of it to Thursday, just because it's about a 6 to 12 hour shift on the modeling. 7 and 8 days out. So that's percentage-wise not a big deal. So that kind of wavering will go on. So there look to be a couple of systems, and these will be different later next week. These are systems coming in from the northwest. These are Arctic fronts coming in that are causing these little light snows that we've seen. What happens later next week and into next weekend, Bill's birthday weekend, by the way, is these will be Arctic air is in place and being attacked essentially from the southwest with a more moisture-laden system. So that's where life can get a little bit more interesting. But again, way down the road. Let's get through tonight. Moorhead, 7 a.m. I think your drive in the morning will probably be okay. We'll be hovering around freezing. There, where I would highlight you to be on your toes, more aware, crossing bridges. That really is where the problems can ensue if temperatures are borderline. So and thank you, Rebecca. And so be aware of that with driving. Bridges and overpasses will be the first thing to ice up. Now I've gone over to snow in Harrodsburg, so that's good. Let's see if we can back up. Let's see. There's our camera here outside. Looks about the same. Maybe a little more intensity on the snow there in the lights, but you can see the road is wet. So here's the max track again. And remember, that's just a mask that's on there. Snowing in Bergen. Good to hear. Yeah, spring's a little while off, Tanya. Oh, that was, okay. We don't need to see that. Okay, back to that. That's a base map to build a 8-day forecast with the red banner, a banner of doom. It's amazing, Titus, how many folks were up the middle of the night that night, because that was like 2 in the morning. But that was the one back in like 03, 02. We had one actually this past season as well. So yeah, it was middle of the night kind of stuff. Beattyville, what do you got going, Darlene? In London, you guys are, I would suspect, just rain. Snowing in Lawrenceburg, yep, we've been seeing that report coming out. I'm checking, there's not a whole lot going on the Weather Service chat. Because it's, again, this is a low-end event. But it's good practice. It's a good reminder that we are still in winter, if nothing else. So the bottom line is tonight into tomorrow, if you're driving, I mean, you will be, this is not a snow you in. You can get from point A to point B. Might take you a little longer. In fact, it should take you a little longer because you should be driving a little more slowly and a little more carefully. For the moment, again, we're seeing just sticking on the cars here. It'll stick in the grass. Right now, the roads are fine. Somerset's going to be mostly rain. You may get some snow squalls around tomorrow, but mostly rain. Leestown, Old Frankfort. Leestown, Old Frankfort. Slick. It is slick. Okay, so you may be getting some stuff on, especially elevated surfaces. Again, I would suspect the roads aren't really bad at this point. Yes, you will get snow in Mount Sterling. Should be doing that shortly. Carrollton, you should be just about all snow right now. As you look up there to the north. McKee, you're going to have more rain. I'll put up the map of what we're expecting. So again, there's the advisory. And the cool transition. So again, most of us are an inch or less. And it'll be a slush. This is going to be a heavy snow, whatever does fall. I'm not anticipating really having to do much on my driveway. A lot of folks 0 to 1 in the lighter shade of blue. And then some folks with the snow squalls, if you get under 1 or 2 of them tomorrow, you could pick up a half or an inch on top of whatever's already there. So that's your setup. Slick driving there, Teresa, or is it slick on the roads? Because I'm wondering if the roads are just wet, or if the deck is, if it's something like your deck is slick. Carter County, you're going to be inch-ish, maybe let's go with an inch-ish. All right, Billie Jean, you got it. Trying to see if. So again, I wanted to see if there was, again, right now roads I think should be just mostly wet as temperatures are at and above freezing. I'm going to recheck that. Yeah, the dew point's dropped to 32 now at Spindletop. So we've got a little pocket of dynamic cooling going on. Current air temp. But yeah, temperatures are still above freezing. So it may snow hard enough briefly that you get a little coating, but it'll be melting. Wet roads in Paris, thank you. Georgetown, you are inch-ish. Like I said, most under. In fact, that graphic is basically sitting over Georgetown. So most less than an inch out of this. It's a little icing on the driveway. Thank you, Chris. Bath, the same. You're trace to 2, but mostly will be under an inch or less. You're still dry in Prestonsburg. It's coming later on tonight, and it'll be mostly rain. Richmond, you should be raining. You are still a little ways from any, well, it's 38 now over at Waco, but you haven't seen some dynamic cooling getting in there yet. So give it, hour or a little bit more for Richmond. Okay, so we're getting a little slushy there near the Scott County line. Okay, wonderful. Guys, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this little Facebook edition. Our numbers are dwindling, so it is time to say goodnight. And no, we're not saying goodnight, because I will see you coming up on LAX 18 News, and that will be at 11. Have a great night, a great weekend. Enjoy the MLK holiday, and again, just know that we're not done with winter yet by any stretch, and I have a feeling we may be doing this a couple of times next week. So that gives you something to look forward to as the birthday countdown continues. And we'll talk to you later.